Good morning, guys. Good morning, all of you.
Morning, sir.
Very good morning.
Are you able to hear me clearly, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, Evan, you are
Yes.
audible.
Okay, fine. So, is there anyone in newcomers in today's class who is their first class today, who haven't
Hi.
a demo class?
Hi. Good morning. This is Nagraj.
Okay,
New journey.
okay, today only first class.
Yes.
Okay,
Hi Rajan, good morning.
yeah, good morning.
This is Kamakshi. It's my personal.
Okay, fine. So, I think there are some
Right.
newcomers today. Right. So, I'll address them also. So, what will do? Let me address the newcomers who is the first class today, and then we'll start our session. Because earlier, the first class we have taken is demo. So in demo, we haven't discussed nothing much. I mean, in AWS, we have discussed on a general manner what is this AWS cloud technology, what it is capable of doing, how the IT companies used to operate before cloud came into the market and after cloud came into the market, why we should go only with AWS, and then we have discussed different services which we are going to discuss as part of our course, and what are the certifications which you can crack as a part of this course, how to prepare that, what is the syllabus overlap, all these things. And in the end, we have discussed all the general question and answers from the students. So what you do, those who have the, I mean, for whom today is the first class, after completing today's session, please contact admin team. They will be providing you with the recorded video of demo class. Somehow today we are going to discuss how to create account, and we'll discuss the first service, very important service, EC2 theory. Okay. So after today's class, uh, you everyone make sure you are having these two recorded videos by end of today. Of course, admin team will take care of that. But by mistake, if anyone did not get, who attended my demo class, but still you did not get the recorded video of demo and the PDF document of the demo, contact admin team once again. So let's begin with today's class. And if you are having any doubts, we will take it at the end of the session, today's session. So let me show you any tool or any service. If you want to start on it, work on it, first you need to create an account with it. So let's see how to create an account in this AWS. It's a free of cost, guys. You don't need to pay anything. It's a free of cost for 1 year. You just press AWS console in the search. And just you can go with the first one, AWS management console. So you are able to see two options, right? Like right top corner, create an AWS account or create a payroll. Anything is same option. You can click anything. You can select any option. So let's start with create an AWS account. This right top corner. Can you see here the first? So how many steps there are? 5 steps you need to go through for creating your account. So let's say something first email ID. I have already account. I'm just showing you how to create account by taking some random values. So you need to make sure that password is having the combination of all capital letters, small letters, special characters, and numbers while giving your password, while choosing your password. And whatever the account name you want to give, you can give. Let's say my name is Ram. I want to give Ram. Like that, you can give your name. And then continue. Okay. So give that security check. And then the second step is you just they're asking, AWS people are asking you, how are you planning to use it? Whether you're going to use it for commercial purpose or just for your practice purpose. So let's say personal. When you choose business, nothing will happen. It's just for an idea. But better go with personal. Next. They just give your name, number, all these things. And you agree for the second step and then continue. Fine. And third step is the payment information. So either you can give your credit card or debit card number and fill all these details. Like we do online shopping, right? Same number, expiration date, cardholder's name, CBB, these things. Once you have entered, better go with this one. You choose no here. Do you have a pen? You just choose no, and you can use the same address, billing address, and you can verify and continue. So what is the purpose of giving this card details? Why AWS people is asking, you see? First of all, they just want to validate whatever the credit card, debit card number you are giving. They just want to validate whether it is in a working condition or not. So that is the reason why they will deduct as a two rupees, and of course after 3 to 5 days of verification, they will credit you back that 2 rupees. So don't get worried. So many of students get worried. Revant, I am giving my card information to them. Will they charge anything by mistake if any bill gets generated by end of the month? Will they automatically debit from my account? No ways, not at all. Even though let's say by mistake if any bill got generated, usually it won't come because I will guide you how to practice. Our complete course is under free of cost. By mistake, let's assume by mistake, you have selected any option by mistake and you got a bill generated by end of the month. For that also I have a solution how to reimburse that bill. Second thing, even though you got bill generated, even though your card details are with them, they won't deduct money automatically until again you need to give all these details. CVV you need to give. Again the OTP will come to your mobile. Then only money will be deducted. So don't worry about all these things. Like I am giving card information, money might get deducted. Nothing will happen. So these are all cards are valid. You see, Visa, Mastercard, American Express, Discover. I think all credit cards and debit cards are the combination of this one, either Visa or Mastercard. So you can go with any of them. So get ready. By tomorrow, somehow we are not going to do any practicals in today's class. I'm just showing you how to create an account. Be ready with account by end of today. Tomorrow we'll start with the practicals. I already got my account created. If you are facing any trouble in create, it's very easy, guys. Just like creating a Gmail account, nothing technical here. If you still face any troubles while creating, you just ask me in tomorrow's class. Let me show you how it looks like once you log in. So once you create your account, right? What did you have given your email ID in the first step? You remember? I have given 1, 2, 3, 4 something. So whatever you give your, with that you will be logging in as root user. So what is this IAM user? That we will discuss later. This is one of the web service which we are going to discuss as part of our course. Then you will understand automatically. But initially for the first 10 days, whatever the email ID you have created, we will be logging in as a root user. So let me log in as root user. And they will ask this security check. You can just give that and enter your password. So you see, whatever you see, the official name we call it as AWS Management Console. This is the official name. So you can say AWS Management Console or simply console. Have their data centers. What we call them, the technical name we have discussed in our demo.
Regions.
Right, region. So can you find anywhere region?
Mumbai.
So why Mumbai? Actually in demo I said India, but in fact not India because you might get confused. That's why I say India. AWS people, they mention India as a Mumbai. So you can see here all the regions. So what did I say? We have almost 25 plus. US East, North Virginia, Ohio, California, Africa, AP means Asia Pacific. Okay, don't think Andhra Pradesh. Wherever you see AP, it's Asia Pacific. Hong Kong, Mumbai, all this, and then Canada, and again in Europe, Middle East, South America. This is not a stagnant list, not a static list. That's why in demo class I said 25 plus. Why 25 plus? Because it's a dynamic. Whenever they have money, they have budget, they will keep on increasing their data centers, their regions. So no one will ask you a question in interviews or anywhere. In how many countries, in how many regions, it's not at all. No one will ask you a question because it's not a static value, it's a dynamic value. It keeps on changing. And you see, here are all the different services. We have discussed already, right? AWS is having so many services, thousands and 10,000. You see, you scroll down, there are so many services. But no one will be knowing all and no one will be learning all. As part of your nature of job, whatever the services are required for you, only we will concentrate on those services. Even the persons who invent these services, they also don't know the other services. You see, they have separate team for particular one service. The engineers, let's say EC2 is a service. There are engineers who work exclusively only on EC2. The other people, they don't know, the engineers who are working on EC2, they don't know about this service. Why? Because they are dedicated to this service only. Similarly, here also, since just because there are thousands and 10,000s of service, that doesn't mean we have to learn all this. Whatever is important as part of our job in IT, how we use cloud technology, what are the services we use, only those things we will be concentrating on. Fine. So let's see the first service today. We'll discuss about the theory. You see, the first one is EC2. EC2 is called the backbone, guys. EC2 is called backbone of AWS. Why it is called backbone? Like for our human body, we have our backbone, right? Why it is backbone? Without backbone, you can't stand, you can't do anything. Literally, you can't do anything without your backbone. Similarly, here also, without this EC2 service, you can't do anything. That means you can't use the other services. So it is something like dependency. Everything you have to use through it. Let's say database, you have to connect from a machine. VPC, networking, you have to connect from this. S3 bucket, you have to use from this. These are all different services. So as part of today's class, let's start with this very, very important service EC2. Today we will discuss complete theory of this. And in tomorrow's class, we will start practicals on this service in tomorrow's class. Okay. So let's start with the EC2. So what is EC2? First of all, the abbreviation is, anyone? Any idea what is EC2?
Elastic
Cloud computing.
Elastic Compute Cloud. Yeah. That's once you answer the question, please be on mute because your background noises might cause disturbance. Who is that? Nagaraju. You can please be on mute. Yeah. Who is this? You don't need to create now, okay? Don't practice while I was saying. After I have done class, you will get recorded video every day. You practice then, because if you're practicing parallelly along with me, you can't focus on whatever I'm teaching you. So my sincere suggestion to all of you is not only this class, till the end of our course, whatever I'm practicing, just focus on what I'm teaching. Don't practice parallelly because you'll skip definitely 2 or 3 points while practicing. Next, you see here, Elastic EC2 is just like a short form, guys. The abbreviation is Elastic Compute Cloud. In short form, they have written 1 E and 2 C's. That's it. 1 E and 2 C. Why it is cloud? Since it is one of the cloud service, that's why they said cloud. Okay. What do you mean by compute? We have discussed, right, in the demo, the definition of cloud. On demand of anything, computers, machines, softwares, everything. That means within 1 minute, you can launch 1,000 number of missions, which 1,000 GB, 1,000 CPU RAM, and 1,000 TB hard disk. Everything, whatever you want, you can launch within minutes. How it is possible? This many numbers of missions within minutes, guys. This all. How it is possible with the help of compute capacity. Compute capacity means the ability to launch that many number of machines with a huge with how much configuration you want within minutes. That is called compute capacity. That's why it is called compute. And third one, what do you mean by elastic? We already discussed in our demo. It's a kind of scaling. You can increase or you can decrease. So we discussed, right, already. It's a kind of scaling concept. So if you want, you can increase the RAM, decrease the RAM. If you want, you can increase the CPU, decrease the CPU. If you want, increase hard disk, decrease. If you want, increase or decrease number of machines. You can do everything, whatever we want. So now let's discuss something much more deep about this EC2. I will give you a simple example why they have called this as elastic, guys. Okay, I will give you a simple example why they are calling this elastic. For that, let me take it. Let's say I have a laptop. Okay, let's say this is my physical laptop, and the configuration of my machine is 8 GB RAM, 1 TB hard disk. So this is case A. So what do you think, guys? Without touching my machine physically, without touching my machine physically, can I increase or decrease the configuration of my machine? Is it possible without touching it? No, it's not possible. So here it is not. That means there is no elasticity. If you can't increase or decrease, we already discussed elasticity means increasing or decrease. Here you can't increase or decrease without touching your machine. So there is no elasticity. Now let's discuss second case. Case B. Here also I have a physical laptop. This is also a physical laptop. But here the scenario is I am discussing about my pen drive. Let's say I plugged in my pen drive, something 8 GB. And I thought it is not enough. So what I will do, I will unplug this one and again I will plug in 32 GB pen drive. Again I thought this is not enough. So what I will do, I will unplug and I will keep maybe 256 GB hard disk. So what is happening here, guys? Whenever I want, I am able to plug in. Whenever I want, I am able to remove and increase or decrease as per my requirement. How is this possible? First of all, because the pen drives are external resource. But in the first case, what is this? These are internal. Internal means there is something confined inside. Without that means you have to remove the screws, change the hard disk, again keep new hard disk, again you have to plug in screws, again switch on the monitor, CPU, everything you have to do. But whereas you see in the pen drive case, you simply plug in, plug out. That's it. It's a matter of seconds. Okay, that means here in the second scenario we have elasticity. That also how elasticity is possible. Why? Because the resource is external resource. That is the reason why elasticity is possible in the case B, whereas it is not possible in the case of case A. Now let's compare whatever the example I have given, just for your easy understanding I have given. Now let's compare the technical example. Why AWS has named this service as elastic. So what are the basic requirements for launching a machine, guys? You go to computer shop, right? So that guy will ask who is selling. So what is your requirement? What you will say? You are planning to buy a laptop. What you will say? First thing is you will say your required OS, and then you will say how much CPU, how much RAM you want, and then finally you will say how much hard disk you want. So these are the bare minimum requirements of any machine. If anyone wants to buy a laptop or desktop, whatever it is, these are the 4 basic things you will have an idea about. Now what AWS people are saying, this OS, CPU, RAM, hard disk, you can choose whatever you want, how much you want, and you can just give number. You want to launch one mission, 100 missions, just give simply number 100. So 100 missions will be launched with your required OS, required CPU, required amount of RAM, and required amount of hard disk. So what AWS is saying, we are giving you the ability to choose whatever OS, how much CPU, how much RAM, how much hard disk you want. means it is giving in the form of external resource. Everything you can change. So let's say you have launched a mission, these 100 missions. Suddenly you wanted to change a RAM or hard disk or CPU of any running mission. You no need to stop the mission, guys. While the mission is running itself in that mode only, in the running mode only, you can increase and decrease the configuration of mission. That is the advantage of cloud. That is the reason why they have named this service as Elastic Compute Cloud. Why elasticity means this is the reason. You can increase or decrease and you can choose whatever you want when the machine is running itself. That is the reason why they have named it Elastic. Now let's discuss about each one of these individually. This OS, CPU, RAM and hard disk. What we call them. In the language of AWS, these names are something different, guys. Maybe in our daily life we call it as OS, CPU, RAM and hard disk. But in the language of cloud technology, AWS cloud technology, they have some technical names. Let's discuss them. Please be on mute, everyone. I still use this Vaibhav. So your IT career first starts with this question. What is OS? What is OS, guys? Why we use OS and what is it?
Operating system.
Check, abbreviation is fine. For what we use it? What is the purpose? Why we use OS?
To interact with the hardware and users.
Right.
So,
Right, correct. So what we are humans, we have our own languages, we understand it. But missions, what missions understand? Mission understand only some language. It's okay, don't go into specific. Definitely they can't understand humans' language. So there should be some person in between. Whatever you're speaking, that person will go and say to the mission, and whatever mission says, that person come and say to us. And who is that person in between? OS. So whatever you want to say to your computer or laptop, whatever it is, first OS will read that and it will say to mission, this is the thing you have to do. And then it will collect the reply from mission and it will send back to the humans. So OS, the simple definition of OS is, it acts as an interface. It acts as an intermediary body between the humans and the machine's hardware. That is called OS. And next comes the question, what are the different types of OS? What are the OS you know, guys? Okay, we all know
Windows, Linux,
Mac, Linux.
Okay, Mac.
Max, X,
Okay, X.
Solaris,
Solaris. There are so many, okay? Okay, whatever is it, these are also, there are so many. HP, UX, CentOS, Ubuntu, RHEL, Kali Linux, all these, there are so many. So let's discuss the origin of this OS, because you see, in my first, I think second or third interview when I was starting my career, the first question they asked was, which came first, Linux or Unix?
Unix.
Which one?
Unix came first.
Others? Do you know? Answer. Because it's a very basic question. Literally, there is no technicality in that. Just wanted to test how much knowledge I have. It's general knowledge. Linux came first or Unix came first? So I will say that answer.
Later, Linux.
Okay, so let's discuss that answer. Whether you said correct or not. So when this OS emerged, you say when the people invented this OS, all these things, there are only two OS initially. One is Windows and second one is Unix. So let's discuss about this OS first of all. Who invented this Windows? Which company? Microsoft. So it belongs to Microsoft. Is the source code free of the Windows OS?
No.
So some of you might have thought, what is source code again? Source code is nothing but the language. What is the programming language they used for inventing this Windows OS? That is called source code base. Even though you pay money to the how many crores, millions and billions of dollars you pay to the Microsoft company, they will never give that source code. Why will they never give? Because if you have that source code, You can just change small changes in that source code and you can release your own OS. You will say Revant OS. I'll make small changes in the code. So that's why no matter how much amount of money you give to Microsoft company, they will never give their source code. That is the first point. Second one, is it free of cost? This Windows OS? No. It's an enterprise version, right? You have to have that licensed version. Maybe you are using some crack version, free trial version. But yeah, there is no such thing as Windows free OS. Windows is an enterprise version. You need to buy it. Fine. So let's discuss what are the first version. What is the first one? Windows came in Windows 98. Next came
XP,
XP.
Vista,
Vista.
Windows 7,
7.
8.1.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't go specific. And then 10. I think now 10 Pro something is also there. It's okay. Like that, these all go. So what are all these? These are all laptop or desktop editions. Right? We use in our laptop or desktop editions. These are what we have discussed in our demo. There is something called servers. What is server? We have discussed. Server means nothing but it's a higher end configuration of our regular
configuration.
right, higher configuration. It is also machine. The only thing is maybe the CPU is more, RAM is more, hard disk. That's why we call it as server. So what are the server editions? Only the naming is different, guys. Nothing much. So here you call it as Windows 2006. Okay. Windows 2009. Okay, something. Windows 2012.
16,
Windows 2016. Nothing.
Yes. 19, 19.
Latest. So these are all the latest server editions. Both are OS only, guys. Don't think both are different. This is just desktop edition. That means whenever you buy laptop or desktop, you will find these versions. But when you buy something server higher end configuration of versions, the OS name is different, but remaining everything is same. So here, if you observe something, if you know how to work on XP, if you know how to work on Vista or 7, 8, do you join any courses to learn how to work on Windows 8 or 10? Even though you know how to work on 7 or 8, did you take any course to know how to work on Windows 10? No, right?
No.
You can learn on your own. What of same
Windows.
Microsoft Windows. So there is small changes, maybe some 5% changes. New options came, some old options they have deleted, maybe some graphics changes they have done. That you can learn on your own. No one needs to teach you. While you are working automatically in 1 or 2 weeks, you will only get to know how to work. So these are all called different versions of Windows OS. Fine. So why I know so many of you know these things, but why I am saying all these things is now I am going to compare this with the Unix. What are the Unix? So what do you think is Unix? Is the source code free or source code is open to world or not? Yes. Source code is open to world. That means whatever the programming language, scripting language, I also don't know. Whatever the language they have used for inventing this Unix, yes, it is known to for everyone. It is open to world. If you want, you can also take it. Second, is it free of cost or not?
Yes, it's free of cost.
Free of cost. Since something is free of cost and since it is open to the world, what one person did, one person called Linus Torvalds. One person called Linus Torvalds. He has taken this source code and he has invented his own software called Linux. The first 3 letters of his name and the last letter of the Unix. And he has invented his own OS called Linux. Then slowly the other companies came. Apple company came. They invented their own Mac OS. HP company came. They have used their HP UX. IBM company came. They have developed a new OS called AX. Sun Microsystems, a company came and invented their own OS called Solaris. All these things. Now, what did you observe? If you observe carefully, these all are
Flavors of Phoenix.
No. These are all invented by companies, enterprise, the big companies, James. But who is this? This was a single, the single person. One person invented this one. But so usually why people invent companies? To generate revenue, to generate profit. If you have to generate revenue, if you have to generate profit, if you give everything for free, will you get money? No. So what these companies did after they have invented this OS, they have kept everything for enterprise version. These are all not free at all. If you want to use this OS, you have to buy it. But this person, this is a good guy. So what he thought, it's okay, let it keep for free. The source code and for the usage, everything is free. We people like free things, right? So what people started doing, they have taken the source code, free source code of this Linux, and they started developing their own software. So a company called Red Hat, they took this source code and they invented their own software called Red Hat Enterprise. We have invented an OS called CentOS, CentOS or CentOS you can call it. Community Enterprise OS. Community means group of people. Enterprise means you have to pay it. Next, Ubuntu. Like that, different OS came with Fedora. Similarly, Amazon company came. They have invented their own Linux called Amazon Linux. Like that, there are so many guys. I am just listing few of here. Kali Linux, all these things also is there. So what are all these? These are all called whatever I have listed here. These are all flavors of Linux. These are all flavors of Unix. So I will ask one question. I just want to see how many will. Why I said here versions? Why I said here flavors? Any idea? Anyone? I could have said here also versions, right? But why I did not say version? Why I say flavors?
So version because all are from the same company, and the flavors because all are from the different company.
Good, right. Yeah, you see. Whatever we have discussed, you see, all these all belongs to which company? All belongs to Microsoft. But whatever we have discussed here, these all flavors. That is a one difference. And second one, here also, what did you observe? Everything came from who is the grandfather of all these people? Unix. And these are for all this, he is a father. So everything only 5% changes. If you know how to work on any of these, let's say you know how to work on Linux, automatically you can work on Mac, HP, RHEL, CentOS, everything. Why? Because there is only a 5% change. That you can learn on your own by searching in Google. While you're starting working on it, automatically you can learn from it. So this is the history of voice, guys. Okay. This might sound not necessary or not important for you. Believe me, everything is important. Every small information, every small piece of information is important in IT, because you don't know when you will come across with information. So you have to just be ready with the information. So what is the answer, guys? Which came first, Unix or Linux?
Unix.
Linux came first. I don't know. Even I don't know answer at the time. I said I just guessed and said Linux. So it's a wrong answer. Now let's discuss the second thing. So what are the four things we thought of discussing? First is OS. It's finished. Now let's discuss about the other. So whatever I have written here, you see different OSs. Out of these, Amazon is providing us few of the OSs. So how we launch them, how we have to log inside them practically, that we'll see in tomorrow's class. Now let's continue with the terminology. I will write here. So let's continue with the terminology we use in AWS Cloud. As I said, right, you don't call OS as it is in OS in AWS. We call something else. So let's discuss the technical names. So first is OS. So what do you call OS in the language of AWS? We call it as AMI. AMI, you can call AMI. The full form is, the abbreviation is Amazon Machine Image. OS means we call it as machine. This is in the language of AWS. Don't go to computer shops and say I want Windows ME. They will see you from top to bottom. Okay. Second, we thought of discussing CPU and then RAM. So you might be wondering, Revant, you said AWS is giving us, Amazon is giving us to choose the option whatever CPU you want, whatever RAM you want. But why you are writing both together? Yes, guys, you see, I can write like this. But this is in the initial, when they have invented the cloud technology, this Amazon company, when they invented the cloud technology, initially they have given CPU and RAM individually, whatever you want you can choose. But what people started doing, some people choose 1000 CPU RAM, 1000 CPU cores and 1 GB RAM. Some other people, what they are doing, they take 1 CPU core and they take 1000 GB RAM. Is this a good combination, guys? Is this a good combination? 1000 CPU and 1 GB. Something like you buy scooter, you attach a bus engine to the scooter. The first case. Here, you buy a bus and you attach scooter engine to the bus. Will be there any performance with these combinations? Is it supposed? No.
Yes.
Of course, it's not a mistake of people also. So then what the company realized, it's okay, it's not the mistake of people, they just don't know the proper combination because they are not scientists, they are not technical persons. So what they did, it's okay, better don't give them the option, don't give the customers the option to choose CPU and RAM. We only do that experiments and we only give the proper combinations. Then they came up with the proper combinations. Something like this is a CPU. They have given as a pay, not individually. It's as a pay. So something like a pen and cap. You can't go to the shop and say, I already have pen, give me only cap, right? You have to buy together. Similarly, a pair of shoes, a pair of sandals. You can't say, I already have left leg chappal, just give me right leg. Similarly, here also there's released in a pair. Let's say 1 CPU, 2 GB RAM, 2 CPU, 4 GB RAM, 4 CPU, 8 GB. Like that, in a combination, as a pair, they have started releasing. Like that, they have the highest of 128 CPU. Combination of CPU and RAM. What do we call in the language of AWS? We call it as instance type. Okay. Whatever I have written this A, B, C, D. What are these? These I call A instance type. It's a instance type. Instance type means it's a combination of CPU and RAM. This is the technical word, guys. Moving further, we are going to use this word only. We don't say CPU RAM. We say instance type. Moving further. So try to get habituated for these words. AMI, instance type. These are the new words which you are learning for the first time. And then finally, what is the remaining? The last one? Hard disk. So what do you call hard disk in the language of AWS? EBS. EBS means elastic block store. It's a storage. That's why it's called storage. Elastic means you can increase the hard disk, you can decrease the hard disk. Store means you can storage. So why do they say block? Let's discuss what is this block. You see, guys, again this type of storage has been divided into two things. Two things. One is block storage. Another one is object storage. Let me explain you what is this block and what is this object. So usually in our laptop we have drives, right? C drive, D drive, E drive, F drive. So in which drive you install your OS?
C drive.
C drive. Can you install the OS in D drive, E drive, or F drive?
No.
It doesn't support. It doesn't support that bootable process. These things. That's why. What is block means? The example of block is the C drive. You can say. Now automatically you can answer the other question. What do you mean by object type of storage? Where you can store objects. You can store images. You can store PDFs. You can store songs. You can store videos, etc., etc. So what are the example of object type of storage? D drive, E drive, F drive. In fact, if you want to say about cloud, Google Drive. Can you store OS in Google Drive? No, right?
Oh,
So you see, these are the different types. One is block storage, one is object storage. So any mission, if you have to launch any mission, definitely you need. It's a combination of block plus object. You want to have a bootable drive where you install OS. Other than that, you need to have an object supporting. And here there is a small catch. You can't install OS in D drive, E drive, F drive. But can you store songs, images, videos, PDFs? Can you store in C drive or not?
Yes.
Yes, you can store. That means you can use block storage as object storage, but you cannot use object storage as block storage. This is a small concept here. Fine. So these are the technical words, guys. OS means AMI, CPU and RAM means instance type, hard disk means EBS. Now what we want to do? Finally, we want to launch a mission, right? Ultimately, why we are discussing all these things? You came to shop to buy a laptop. Similarly, here also you want to launch a mission. So you have to combine what things? AMI, instance type, EBS. Once you combine all these three things, whatever the result comes, that we call it as instance. Okay. So what do you call the mission in the language of AWS? I mean, in our daily language, we are calling it as laptop or desktop. But what we call in the language of AWS, we call it as.
instance.
So moving further, at least try to habituate for some days. Once you go inside company, you can call anything. Let's say in my company, we call it as box, server, PC, laptop, desktop, mission. You can call anything else, but the technical name is instance in the language of AWS. So moving further from today onwards, whenever I use any word, block, box, server, PC, laptop, desktop, mission, instance, everything is same. These are all just synonyms. Let's say in my company they say box. Revant, bring that box up. Revant, shut down that box. They will say like that. But since you're in a learning stage, since you're in the initial stages of learning, try to use the technical words. So try to say this word at least for some days. EC2 instance. So what my manager of the Revant launch Windows instance. Revant launch Linux instance like that. Instance means the mission. It's a combination. It's a combination of all these three things. Don't get confused between this one and this one, guys. This is instance type, but the final product is instance. Instance is a combination of AMI, instance type, and EBS. This is called instance. Any doubt, guys, still here? I mean, in this concept, whatever we discuss in this concept, don't ask general questions. Then I will take in the general questions. So let me give you the discuss about the theory. Whatever the video I'm going to, what this recorded video will get at the same time. Whatever the theory part I'm explaining in this slides, this you will get PDF document. I said right. Every day you will get recorded video as well as that PDF document. This is a PDF document you will be getting. You won't get in PPT format, you will get in a PDF format. Whatever we are going to discuss. So what is the definition of EC2, guys? Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud. EC2 is a web service that provides resizable compute capacity in the world in the cloud. We discussed what is compute. We have discussed the ability to launch higher configuration of machines within less time is called compute capacity. Resizable means you can increase, you can decrease, where you can do both things in the cloud. So that is why this is the definition of cloud. Next, what is it capable of doing? What it is capable of doing? EC2, what it will reduces. It reduces the time to launch new instances. You see, the technical word is instances means nothing but missions. It will reduce the time to launch new missions to minutes, allowing you to quickly scale capacity both up and down. We already discussed this. What is the technical name of this? auto scaling. So moving further in our classes, I will show how we combine this one later on in the coming classes. But in today's class, let's focus on only EC2. So what they are saying, we already discussed, right? If you want to launch a one server, how much it will take in a physical? One server will take at least 10 days. But here, it's a matter of minutes. Just imagine, guys, how much difference is there between minutes and days. So this is the definition of cloud and what it is capable of doing. And next we have discussed about different OS. So what did I say? Unix flavors I said. I did not say versions. Why? Because these all belong to different companies. This is a person. This is company. This is another HP company. Sun Microsystems, IBM, Apple, Linux Torvalds. This guy. And then on top of that we have discussed Linux flavors. So Amazon company, Amazon Linux, Ubuntu, CentOS, RHEL, Fedora, Linux Mint, OpenSUSE. There are so many. In tomorrow's class, we will be working on this practically. How to launch a Windows machine. How to not say Windows. At least I will also say the technical words for some ways. How to launch Windows instance. How to go inside a Windows instance. How to connect to a Windows instance. Like that, one by one. And then instance type. So what did I say? Instance type means I have written something. What did I written there? While explaining you something A.
Combination of C.
Actually, technically, it's not A, B, C, D. These are the technical names. The type is C here. Not A, B, C, D, guys. Since if I say straight away T2.nano, there you will get confused. That's why I said A, B, C, D. But technically, T2.nano means it's a combination of one CPU and half GB RAM. Similarly, T2.micro means one CPU plus 1 GB RAM. You see the combination of CPU and RAM. What instance type means. So let's say my manager wants me to launch Windows with 2 CPU and 4 GB RAM. So what he will say, Raymond? Launch Windows instance with T2.medium type. T2.medium means I know 2 CPU plus 4 GB RAM. And again, don't think anyone will ask you this combination in interviews. No one will ask you what is the name of 4 CPU and 16 GB. No one will remember this. I have listed out here only few. There are 200 plus combinations. That means there are 200 instance types. No one will remember. Even I also don't remember. Whenever I want, I will just go to the console and I will say what is the combination and what is its name. No one can't remember 200 plus combinations. So it's not a technical question. You just have to learn it. What is instance type means? It's a combination of these things. What is the different namings means? This. That's it. Don't buy hard things. Whatever you need to buy hard, I will say you. Whenever some things needs to be by hearted, I will say you before only. These are the things you have to buy hard. You can't help it. But which are the things you don't need to buy hard? I will say then only. You don't need to buy hard these things because no one will ask you questions on it. And then the last one is we have discussed about hard disk. So EBS allows you to create storage and attach to them to the EC2 instances. So what is EC2 instance means? EC2 instance means something like your laptop, guys. So sometimes you want to copy movies from your friend. So what you will attach? You will attach the hard disk. So what is hard disk here? We call it as elastic block store. So that is what they are saying. EBS is allowed to create a storage. It's a kind of hard disk. What you will do? Hard disk you will attach to the machine. Attach to them to the EC2 instances. And what are the different types of storage we discussed? Object and block. Object means D drive, E drive, F drive, Google drive, pictures, documents, videos, songs, all this. Block storage means where you can install OS and have run some big database queries, all this. So on a high level, these are the technical words you are going to use. Guys, from today onwards, just maintain some notebook. If you're comfortable with a pen and notebook, physical pen and notebook, you can maintain it. Or if you're comfortable with maintaining some Word document or Notepad document, maintain that one. Why? Because at the end of everyday class, I am going to teach you some key points. Whatever the key points I am going to teach you, by end of this 2 months of course, they will come around 15 to 20 pages. whatever the key points I'm going to discuss at the end of every day class. After 2 months, you will find some 15 to 20 pages will be formed. 80% of your interview questions will be from those points only, those key points. Right? So maintain it. Don't be lazy. At the end of somehow you will have a recorded video, right? While you seeing your recorded video, make a note of them so that it will be easy for you to revise. After completing our course at the end of 2 months, you no need to go through each of my video. Whatever the important points are required for that 1 hour class, I will explain in the end that 5 minutes. So you just make a note of that 5 points in that notebook or notepad file, whatever it is. And once you are doing the revision before going for interviews and when applying for the jobs, 80% of the questions from will be from those points only. So yeah. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me, guys. I know it's just, that's why I'm taking less time today because so many of you might be having doubts. So let's go with
Sir,
that. Yeah.
I have no Visa card and Mastercard. I have only SBI. Can I
Okay.
keep my friend card?
Yeah, you can use your friends. There is no requirement that you need to use your personal. You can use anyone's.
Afterwards, can I change to my card?
Yeah, later you can change it. No issues. Anytime you
Have
can change it.
option?
Yeah, you have option.
Okay, thank you.
Engineer in 2019.
Okay.
I don't have any experience and don't know
Okay.
if this AWS is sufficient for getting a job or not.
Yeah. First of all, whether you're
And extra
educational.
courses are
No. Yeah, I got it. I got your question. First of all, any educational background can learn this. I have already. Is this your first class?
mixed.
You attended my demo.
Already I am attended for
Okay.
demos.
So we already discussed this in demo. It's okay. I'm just repeating. First of all, remove this from mind. Any educational person can come. Whether you're civil, mechanical, B Pharmacy, MBA. I already discussed. It's irrespective of our educational background. Anyone can learn this and get job on this. And second thing, only for getting job, yes, only AWS is required. You don't need to learn any other tools or technologies for getting job. Only AWS is required. Yeah, any others? Guys, I am done with today's class. You will be getting the recorded video as well as the PDF document of the theory, whatever we have discussed. So if you don't have any doubts, you can skip the meeting. We'll meet tomorrow.
Good morning.
But those who are having doubts, stay back and get them clarified. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, Srikam.
So we are learning about AWS. So AWS is one of the part in infrastructure or architecture or platform as a service. So which we are learning right now?
You said so many technical words. You're scaring the other guys. Okay. First of all, AWS itself is infrastructure. AWS is not a part of infrastructure. You will build your infrastructure with the help of AWS. What is infrastructure? Okay. Let's discuss some common topics. Since yes, what is infrastructure? Whatever the resources are required for running a project, for running an IT company, which we discussed in our demo, that all together we call it as infrastructure. So being a cloud engineer, you are going to build that infrastructure. You launch missions, you launch databases, you create networking, you create S3 buckets, you will connect all of this. This is all together we call it as infrastructure. Being a cloud engineer, you are going to create the infrastructure. So that's why you should say AWS itself is infrastructure. AWS is not a part of infrastructure. That is the first question. And that is your answer.
Okay, so thank you.
Yeah.
And one more thing, that what is the difference between architecture and infrastructure?
Architecture means it's a flow of traffic. Okay, it's a flow. Let's say you are designing a product. Okay, you are designing a Zomato app. So what is the flow of Zomato app? First, user have to see all the hotels. Then user will select whatever the dish he want. Then it will go to the cart. Then he will apply any promo codes. Then he has to do the billing. Then he will get the tracking order status. This is a flow. That is called architecture. Infrastructure means the hardware that required for developing any project. There's machines, databases, networking. These are called infrastructure. Architecture is something you call design. How you design something, that is called architecture. Whatever the hardware components are required for starting a project, for working on a project, that is called infrastructure.
This American website, this is the incorporated data warehousing concept.
Yeah, we will be discussing Redshift as a part of data warehouse.
Hello.
Yeah.
So once we got the certificate, is there any expiry date? Once we got expiry, how we can renewal that?
Which certificate you're asking about? This associate certificate?
Yeah. Training certificate.
It's valid for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So what you need to do? Yes, you need to renew it. Renewal means not paying money like our driving license. You have to rewrite the exam after 3 years.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, what are the key points today in today's class?
Yeah, in today's key points, this what are the words we have discussed? These are the keywords. These technical words: AMI, EBS, instance, type, instance. These are the keywords. So we are just from tomorrow again we will be discussing. In tomorrow's class, we'll from practicals we will be dealing. So please be ready with your Amazon accounts for today. Of course, it's not compulsory. Somehow I will be giving you time at the weekends. You can practice then also. So in next class, we'll see how to launch a Windows instance and how to connect to it. After that, we'll see how to launch a Linux instance and how to connect it, all these things one by one. So today's key points are these things. The technical words, whatever we have discussed. AMI, instance type, block store. What are the different words? Block is equal to object, but object you can't use as a block. And what are the different flavors of Linux? What are the different versions of Windows? All these things. Yes, there is a project, of course. Who is this? Muhammad Rafi. Without project, how will you get confidence? Whatever we are going to discuss, all the individual services, we are going to use all these services and we are going to pipeline. Everything is going to automated in the end in the project. Whatever we are going to do in the project, that is your nature of job. So tomorrow, once you join in the company, you don't need to fear. Okay, I'm a cloud engineer, I got a job. What I need to do sitting in front of the system? You don't need to worry. By the time you enter the company, you know already what you have to do as a part of a cloud engineer job. Everything we are going to discuss as part of our course in regular classes. At the same time, at the end in the project also. It's a live project. Yeah. Any others you can ask?
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Good morning.
Sir, we have different AWS certifications, right? Exams. Cloud,
Right.
like cloud practitioner, solution architect, and developer.
Right.
Is this course is sufficient to cover all those exams?
Yes. Whatever all the 3 certifications are covered as part of our course.
Sir, thank you.
Yeah, any others? You can ask me or you can type in the chat box. Anything is fine. DevOps, no, not at all needed, Rafi. Not at all needed. We already discussed this in the demo class. It is completely different technology. DevOps is a different technology. AWS is a cloud technology. That is an automation technology. Both are different things. If a project has to run, they will recruit all types of technologies. They will recruit cloud engineers. They recruit DevOps engineers. They recruit database guys, networking, developers, testers. All people are required for running a project. So it's a different technology. They recruit each of them. Cloud engineer also they recruit. DevOps also they recruit. So guys, those who is having a first class today, please go through my demo class. So 99% of your doubts will be clarified if you go through my recorded video of demo class, because so many students have asked general queries in the last. Definitely your doubts also will be as part of their doubts only. Is there any order of aiming, sir? Yes, there is an order that we will discuss in our regular class. Data warehouse, yeah, Redshift. Yeah, immediately they won't respond. They will be busy in attending other students or other batches. Manjunath, they will call you back. You just leave them a text message. That is their WhatsApp number. You just say them, I am like Manjunath. I have attended like Raven or AWS class. They will respond to you back after some time, because they might be busy most of the time. So whenever the admin team is not responding, don't think they will not, because they don't respond immediately. They will be busy in their tasks. So they will come back to you when they see their missed calls or your texts. Is any graduate, is any guarantee? Yes, who is this? Gopinath. I said right, from my end I will be giving whatever the opportunities are there, I will give you references. You can apply there. But it is up to you to prove your skills. I can take you till the interview, but you have to perform in the interview. So that is the answer for your question. Like guarantee in the sense, yes, opportunities I can show you. But you have to learn whatever I am teaching you well and you have to perform well in the interview. So definitely I am sure that you will be performing well if you learn and practice whatever I'm teaching you on a regular basis. You no need to have anyone's help to crack interview. Everyone can crack on your own your interviews because that much deep the concepts we are going to discuss as part of our course. And everyday class, whatever I'm teaching you everyday class, I will compare with the real time class. Let's say tomorrow I'll start practicals. So in real time, how we will be doing as a cloud engineers, the same thing we will be doing in our class only, from first day to last day. There is nothing difference between our practice and the in real time. Whatever we are going to do in the real time, the same thing, the same style we are going to follow when practicing also.